Good day everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to do the Leopold'S maneuver. But let's define first what is it. Leopold'S maneuver is a systematic method of observation and palpation to determine fetal position, presentation, lie, and attitude. It is important because they help determine the position and presentation of the fetus, which in conjunction with correct assessment of the shape of the maternal pelvis can indicate whether the delivery is going to be complicated or whether a cesarean section is necessary. So before performing the procedure, it is important to first wash our hands, provide patient privacy, identify your patient using two identifiers like name and birthday, and explain the procedure for the patient's cooperation.
Good morning, Ma'am. I'm Angelica Padawan, your student nurse for today. May I know your name and birthday? So I'm going to perform Leopold'S maneuver, which means that I'm going to place my hands in your stomach to figure out the position of the baby. Is that okay? But before doing the procedure, do you want to go to the restroom first?
It is important to instruct the mother to empty bladder first because this will promote comfort and allows for more productive palpation because fetal contour will not be obscured by a distended bladder.
So next is, I'm going to place the mother in a dorsal recumbent position and supinely flex. This is to relax the abdominal muscles, and I'm going to place a small pillow under the head for comfort. Next is to drape properly the patient to maintain the patient's privacy. Just expose the abdomen part. Warm hands first before placing them over the mother's abdomen to aid comfort because cold hands may stimulate uterine contractions. And in palpating, use the palm, not the fingers.
First maneuver or fundal grip. It is the palpation of the fundal area to determine which fetal part is in the uterine fundus. It is also to determine the presenting part of presentation, the part of the fetus lying over the inlet.
For the first to third maneuver, I'm going to stand at the bedside facing the patient. So, I'm going to place my hands on the abdomen, just below the xiphoid process, and then palpate or feel for the fetal part lying in the fundus.
There are 3 points to be observed in the first maneuver. First is the relative consistency. The head is harder or firmer than the breech. Second is the shape. If the head, it will be round and hard, and the transverse groove of the neck may be felt. The breech has no groove and usually feels more angular. And lastly, the mobility. The head will move independently of the trunk, but the breech moves only in conjunction with the body. Second maneuver are the umbilical group. It is to locate or identify the fetal back in relation to the right and left sides of the mother and to determine the fetal position.
I'm going to place my hands on the other side of the abdomen, with the left palm stationary on the left side of the abdomen to steady the uterus, and the right palm palpates the right side of the abdomen on a circular motion from top to lower portion of the uterus, applying gentle but deep pressure to palpate the fetal outline and the small fetal parts. It's like this. And after that, do it on the other side.
In the second maneuver, small fetal parts like knee and elbow feel nodular with numerous angular nodulations, and the fetal back feels smooth, hard like a resistant surface. Third maneuver, or Pauli's grip. It is to determine if the presenting part has entered the pelvis and to find the head at the pelvis and to determine the mobility of the presenting part.
Gently grasp the lower portion of the uterus with the thumb and two fingers of one hand, and then pressing them together slightly and make gentle movements side to side.
For the findings in the third maneuver, if the presenting part moves, round, ballotable, and easily displaces, it is not yet engaged. But if the presenting part, not movable, felt as relatively fixed, knob-like part, it is engaged. If it is firm, it must be the head, but if it is soft, it could be the breech. For the final maneuver, or the pelvic grip, which side is the cephalic prominence? Cephalic prominence is the part of the fetal head that prevents the deep descent with one hand. It is to determine the degree of the fetal head flexion or extension. To determine the attitude or habitus, the degree of flexion of the body, head, and extremities, or the relationship of fetal parts to each other. It is also to determine the fetal descent. And for this last maneuver, this should only be done if the fetus is in cephalic presentation.
For the final maneuver, going to stand at the bedside but facing the patient's feet. So use both hands, place it on the lower pole of the uterus, and then palpate it by pressing downward about 2 inches above the inguinal ligament. Just allow your fingers to be carried down.
For the findings in the fourth maneuver, if descended deeply, only a small portion of the fetal head will be palpated. If cephalic prominence or brow or the baby is on the same side of the small fetal parts, the head is flexed. And if the cephalic prominence is on the same side of the fetal back, the head is extended.
So now we are going to measure the fundal height. So again, before doing the procedure, tell the patient, "Mom, so now I'm going to measure the size of your abdomen. Don't worry, this will not hurt you or even the baby." So we have to use the centimeters and place the tape measure on the superior edge of the symphysis pubis up to the top. So we got 26 centimeters. This means that the mother is 26 weeks pregnant. So Mom, thank you for your cooperation.
So after doing all the procedure, it is important to document all the data gathered. And that's all. Thank you. Hello. Good day, everyone. Hello, everyone. So before performing the procedure, it is important. Instruct to instruct. Is it? It is it? Good morning, ma'am. I'm Angelica. Bata boy. For the first to third maneuver, so I'm going to place my hands on the other sides of the abdomen. Boom!
The uterus and the right palm. Perfect. And the right. place my hands on either side of the abdomen. And then so I'm going to place my palms. Gently grasp the lower portion of the abdomen. Gumagalaw yung camera.
In the fourth maneuver, if descended deeply,